Hey everyone, and welcome to MYO. I'm Rebecca. Today we're going to crochet a super cozy beanie together, and for that you need some soft wool and a 7mm crochet needle. And this pattern is made to measure, so it can be as long or as wide as you like, and it will fit all of your family and perfect for when you're crocheting a beanie as a gift. So let's get started. So let's start, and we will begin with making a slip knot. So grab your yarn, wrap it around your fingers, cross the yarn over, slide the loop off, and pull the yarn through the loop. There you have a slip knot. Insert your needle and tighten the yarn. And now we will start with making a chain, and the chain will be as long as you want your hat to be, so from the bottom to the top. So yarn over, pull the yarn through. There you have your first chain. Make a second one. And just continue until you have a chain long enough for your hat. Just a reminder, if you want to fold up the bottom of the beanie or your hat, the brim, count that in for the length of your hat. So imagine this is the chain, the length of your hat, and you want to fold up the brim, and you do that like so. So make it as long as you like. The pattern is made to measure. So keep going, and then I will meet you at the next step. Let's move on to step number 2. So in the second loop from your needle, so 1, 2, right here, dive down with your needle, and we will now crochet a slip stitch. So hook the yarn and pull it up. So you have 2 loops around your needle, and pull the loop through like that. Again, dive down in the next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up, and pull through the loop immediately. There you have a slip stitch. So you will make a total of 3. So we have 2, make 1 more, dive down, hook the yarn, pull it up, and pull through the loop. Now we have 3 slip stitches. And if you want, you can place a marker here so you know where the first stitch is. I will do that so you see, like that. So I know where my row starts and finishes. And for the next 3 stitches, we will crochet single crochets. So dive down in the next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up. So you have 2 loops. Then we hook the yarn again and pull through both loops. There you have a single crochet. Now make 2 more. So dive down in the next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up, hook the yarn again, and pull through both loops. Third one, right there. So now we have 3 slip stitches and 3 single crochets. And for the rest of the chain or the row, you will crochet half double crochets. So we start with wrapping the yarn around our needle and dive down in the next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up. So now I have 3 loops around your needle. Hook the yarn again and pull through all 3 loops. There you have a half double crochets. Continue crocheting all the way to the end of the row. So when you get to the end of the row, just make your final half double crochet. And remember, we always end with making 1 chain, and then we turn the work around. And for the next round, we're going to crochet single crochets, but only in the back loop. So let me see if I can show you. Here you see the stitches, and we're only going to crochet in the back loops. So in the first chain, or in the first stitch right here, we dive down in the back loop, hook the yarn and pull it up, and make a single crochet. And again, next stitch, hook the yarn and pull it up, and make a single crochet. And it will naturally create like a pop-up line, and this is the detail we want. So keep crocheting single crochets all the way to the end of the row. So when you get to the end of the row, I remove my marker and make my final single crochet. And then again, we make one chain that we don't use. It's just for height, and we turn our work around. So now you crocheted 2 rounds. So first we did 3 slip stitches, 3 single crochets, and half double crochets. And then we made single crochets all the way back. So this is one sequence of 2 rounds, and keep repeating those until you have a width of your hat that fits around your head. So it will look something like this. See, this is the way up. So make it as wide as you like. Remember, the pattern is made to measure. So keep crocheting, and I will meet you at the next step. So now I'm crocheting my final stitches, and now I have the width of my hat that I like. It looks something like this. So now we're gonna stitch the seam together. So cut the yarn and use a bigger, chunkier needle. And for the next step, we're gonna start with making a knot out of this last loop. So I just pull the yarn through all the way. There you make a knot. And I think I get the most invisible, nicest seam when I sew from the outside. So you have the right side out. So let me see if I can get this straight. Okay, so let's start at the top right here, and I go from the bottom, and I just go through the first stitch, center of the stitch, pull the yarn through like this, like that. And this is the top of the hat, and we're going to close that later. And I go through the middle of the opposite stitch just to start. Like that. So we kind of have these two edges on top of each other. And then I just go back and forth. So center of the stitch and center of the other, like that. Let me see, can you see? Like this. And just go back and forth. So next stitch, all the way through both. And the next one. So now you can kind of see what it will look like. And I think I like this. Of course, you can do it any way you like. You can do it with your crochet needle or from the inside, but I like this way. So just keep stitching back and forth all the way down to the bottom, and then I will meet you at the next step. Now I do my final stitch right here, and then I like to go back again and just make one more, because this is going to be the bottom of my hat, and there might be a little bit of pulling at the seam when you wear it, so you want it to be extra tight. So I just do one more stitch, and then I go to the inside, and then I sew the knot from the inside. Something like this, just somewhere. I have a very long tail. Okay, so just go through the loop to make a knot. I have the 2 tails there, like that. And then to hide the tail, like this really long one, you can of course just cut it off. Let me see if I can make it a bit easier. I'm gonna cut it a bit shorter. You can just hide it in between the stitches here. So just go like back and forth a little, like that, and just pull it through. Then you can cut it and you're done. And then hide this other one later. So that's that step. Now we have created almost a finished hat. So the next step, we're just going to close the top. And again, grab a long piece of yarn, thread it around your needle, and I will show you how we do that. So grab a new piece of yarn, and I like to make a knot to begin with, and I just do it like this. I just roll it around my finger, and then I roll it off. Just pull it down, it creates like a knot. So I start by the seam from the inside, and I just go through somewhere. So I attached the thread I'm going to use twice, so we have a secure beginning. Where we start sewing like that, and then it's basically just going back and forth around the edge like this, back and forth through all the stitches, all the way around. And then we're going to close the opening very tight. So just keep going all the way around. So now I have sewed all the way around the top edge, and I turn my hat inside out. So when you've done this, now we're just going to pull the yarn so we close the loop here, or the circle, like this. Just pull it tight as you can without breaking the yarn. Like that. And then we just hold it tight and like stitch together somewhere so it stays where it is. Like that. And secure it with one more knot just to make sure it's attached. Like this. Then you just can cut it off and hide the tail, and it will look something like this. Now you have a hat. So cute. Great job. You made it your very own beanie. Great job. And thank you so much for crocheting with me and MYO today. Remember to tag makeyourown.se because we love to see what you craft, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. Bye.